Hey everyone, welcome to Dream Pod, the best pod. Today we have with us a very special guest. Of course, all my guests are special. So we have the CEO of Renaissance Home, an NGO for charity and social development, Mr. Derrick. Welcome to Dream Pod.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
We're so excited to have you here with us today. So, before we get into the dreams, what does self-care mean to you?
Basically, for me, self care is more of an intentional efforts to becoming a better person or a better version of yourself. Basically, yeah.
Yeah, lovely. Going into dreams, what does
Right.
a dream mean to you personally?
Well, I mean, for me, a dream is more like a vision. Yeah, basically, it's more like a vision.
Basically,
Yeah,
because you have a vision and you're
yeah.
going after it.
After it,
Yeah.
right.
If you could describe your life's journey so far in one word, what would it be?
I mean, I won't lie. My life has been a roller coaster, to be honest. Yeah. So,
That's a great one. Why roller coaster though?
I mean, it's been filled with lots of ups and downs, but yeah, it's been a crazy journey. But
Yeah, I mean that's life. It's always, but I mean you navigate it and you find your way through. Yeah.
yeah,
What did you dream of becoming as a child? I mean, we all had that crazy dream as a child. What was yours?
growing up, I always wanted to be a lawyer. Along the line, life happened, things changed. I delved into something else, and yeah, it's been up since then. Yeah,
Yeah, and you're today you're CEO of an NGO. I would say
right.
that's a little bit related, maybe, because being a lawyer, you're advocating, and with an NGO, you're
NGO.
kind of still advocating for a group of people who are
Right.
less recognized in the community. So,
Right.
what sparked that dream that led you to where you are today?
The thing is, growing up, my mom was fond of taking us to the orphanage. We used to visit orphanages almost every Christmas during the festive period. And my mom usually took my siblings and I to orphanages. We usually go shopping for them. We spend Christmas Day on them. So for us, it was a day of showing love to the less privileged.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I grew up loving the act of sharing and putting smiles on people's faces. So yeah, I mean, subsequently it just became a thing for me. So it's more like a part of me, basically. Yes, it's more like
That's beautiful, and seeing that you're now doing it on a larger scale, that's
Yeah.
very nice because it's always, even as a person who is not less privileged,
Right.
as it's described in our society, it's always great to feel like you're seen, like someone has your back. So
right.
doing that for the people who are actually sometimes forgotten in the society is very special.
Right.
What would you say is the biggest leap of faith you took to pursue your dream?
All right, crazy story. I think when I started my NGO, that was in 2022.
Okay.
Yeah. I had no support. There was nobody. It was just a vision I saw. It was something I had to do, regardless. Because as I said, it was part of me. So yeah, there was this very day because I think when I started, I the part of the plan was to have an activity every year that we could carry out for the less privileged, for people, the IDPs and stuff. So for that year, what I did was I had a tour in the North Central, yes, where I visited, I think about 6 states, SCT inclusive. Yeah, and there was this fateful day. That was my first trip, was to Kogi, and that was actually my first time in Kogi. And that day, I just woke up, I packed my bags, I picked up my banner, and then I traveled down to Kogi. On getting there, I had to locate the market. I knew I had to locate somebody who was going to help me snap and cover. Yeah, but the good thing is I was lucky enough. I got somebody on getting there. I got somebody who was more than willing to help. So he was of great assistance to me. And yeah, so for me, basically, that was it. Just getting up and going at it regardless. For me, yeah.
That's a big vision because to get up and go out there alone, that's big.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
That just shows that you really wanted to pursue that and you saw what you wanted, so
right,
you went for it.
right.
And you spoke earlier about roller coasters. You've had ups and downs. So, what role would you say failure has played in your journey so far?
That's a good one. I mean, for me, failure has to be, or failure is also one of the biggest parts of your success story, your success in life. I mean, you can't be successful without trials, without failures. Yeah, for me, I don't know if there's any successful person out there who hasn't failed, but it's helped me grow because I've learned. For me, failure is more like lessons. I see failures as lessons because when it happens, I learn from them. I try to understand where I went wrong or how it went wrong, and then I try to just improve on it and try again. So basically, for me, it's just persistence. Yeah, I see failure as a reason to try again.
That's really interesting because for me as well, I try to look at it from a positive light.
Right.
I mean, in the past, it's been like it's failing, like it's very demoralizing to see failures. But
Right.
recently, I'm just like, you know what? There's a reason for this. Let's look
Right.
at it in
You
the
just look at
most
it in a
positive way
positive way.
possible. And
That's
in
right.
the process of planning Dream Pod, obviously, I had some challenges on the way, and at some point, in the midst of one challenge, I was just saying to my brother, like, what story would I tell if
So,
this doesn't
right, it
happen?
happened
And
exactly.
I was telling the story like this is how I'm going to say it to
See,
Richard.
and I mean, here we
That's where I
are.
am
Right,
now.
exactly.
Yeah. So it's quite
Here
interesting.
we are.
So
Right.
what would you say is a common misconception that people have as to achieving their dreams?
I mean, the thing is, achieving dreams doesn't happen overnight. It's a continuous process. So you just have to keep going. Because I mean, as I said earlier, it hasn't been easy with being born. It's still not easy, yeah. But we just keep going. My team and I, we just keep pushing regardless, and we keep hoping for the best.
A lot of times people don't see the journey; they only see the
All
win.
right,
So it's
all
just
right,
like,
all
wow,
right.
this person is this. They don't know what
Yeah, the
they've been through
backstory.
along the way. Yeah.
It's a,
So who would you say has been your biggest cheerleader so far?
I mean, my family were of great support initially when I started. Yes, and that was before I found my fiance. I mean, she's also been of great support. She's been very supportive, very loving. So yeah, for me, it's been family, and yeah, now having a partner has also been like a great blessing. So it's been very motivating at the same time.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's a
So
beautiful one. It's great to have someone who supports your dreams and
right,
sees the vision and doesn't
right,
just like tell you put that aside.
right,
They also try to help you go after your dreams. Okay, so speaking of your fiance, would you
right.
say this is also a dream that you have achieved? You know, woman of my dreams.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would say that because growing up, I always pictured myself settling down with a beautiful wife, beautiful family, and I mean, she came into my life when I least expected. When yes, and it's been beautiful since then. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
it's
amazing. So over the years, how has your definition of success evolved?
I would say growing up, I used to see success as or I never imagined or understood the concept of success. I just felt it automatically it's just those things that come with adulthood. That yeah, once you're an adult, everything works out for you, everything falls in place. But these days, I just learn to count my blessings and my little wins as they come, step by step, and I'm just grateful to God for how far and how well things have turned for me since then. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's always great to acknowledge your wins at every step so you don't feel
right.
like, you're not doing anything while you're actually
Okay.
doing a lot. What would you say has been the most impactful story you've witnessed through your work?
I would say that that was my visit to the IDP camp in Benue, North Bank. Yeah, I remember my team and I went for an outreach. Yes, and it was so disheartening seeing children, women, youths living without purpose, without where to go from there. It was really heartbreaking, and I mean, I was glad, and I'm glad to date that we still impact to them, or we still have an impact to their lives in one way or the other, because we still reach out to them from time to time to see how we could help. But yeah, it was really heartbreaking because we saw these women that were pregnant. Meanwhile, they're sleeping on the floors because they had no shelter or there was no structure put in place for them. So they used these net-like things to like cover themselves from the sun and yeah, I think during the rain sometimes the rain beats them even while they're sleeping there. So it was really heartbreaking and we thank God we're able to provide some of them with really materials like beds and yeah, one or two things. Just stories were just touching and it was just sad. But at the end of the day, I mean, we thank God we're able to intervene and we are still helping in the little ways we can till now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So considering you witness a lot of touching or
Right.
emotional stories through this work, would
Right.
you say this kind of takes a toll on your mental health sometimes?
I won't say mental health per se, because yeah, sometimes it's emotionally it gets to you. It's
Yeah.
straining, yes, but you as a CEO or as a front runner of an NGO, you just have to stay strong because you will definitely see a lot of cases, you will definitely hear a lot of things, you will see a lot of things, you witness a lot in general. So yeah, I mean, you have to be strong and then you have to also be in a state where you could actually face these challenges and then still maintain the composure and then still be able to think things through straight. And yeah, so for me, it has actually just helped train my mental health rather than yeah, it's just helped me like train me mentally to whatever situation it might be, whatever circumstances. Yeah. So for me it's just helped build my mental health rather than bring yeah.
So speaking on challenges,
Right.
what would you say are the biggest challenges facing your organization?
Well, I mean, for now, it's safe to say funding. Yeah, funding basically. But then we are thankful to God. Last year, we got an approval from USAID. Yeah, they were willing to partner with us, and also United Nations Women. So yes, they also responded to our mails, and yeah. So I thank God they've approved partnership with them. So we're just trying to see where we can go from here. Yeah, so, but it's been basically the funding because most of the times the funding comes from family members, from friends. So yeah, it's been difficult, especially when you're not getting support from the outside world. Because I mean, there are lots of NGOs these days, and people have used it for all sorts of yeah. So people are a bit skeptical these days when it comes to NGO, especially when they see that you're a young person into this. They don't believe you have a drive or have a passion for this. They just feel like yeah, you're just doing it for. But yeah, thank God he's been grateful.
Yeah. So I feel like in Nigeria specifically, the
Yeah.
system doesn't quite support young CEOs
Right.
and NGOs as well.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's safe to say that because I've had my own fair share of it. To be honest, I've had so many cases where I had to run after people. I had to beg. I had to go through a lot just for something that would be beneficial to my organization and then to the
Yeah.
less privileged or to the outside community in general. Yeah, because there are a couple of registrations they had to do. I had to undergo. Yes, which I was not informed, but then they didn't even make it easy for me. I mean, you see me getting foreign partnerships rather than getting local partnerships,
Yeah.
where we're supposed to start here and then see how we build, but rather I think the international community supports us better
Yeah.
than we actually support our home-based NGOs here. So yeah, it's been a challenge too. It's been a great challenge.
Yeah. So how do you maintain hope and motivation through these challenges?
The people themselves are my greatest drive. They're my greatest inspiration. So for me, it's something I've grown love for over the years. And yeah, and nevertheless, God has been faithful. I say God because none of this would have been possible without Him. And yeah, same thing. We also always try to preach to people we meet, regardless of your religion. Whenever we meet, we're always trying to encourage you, yeah, spiritually, because for us, it's also one of our greatest, or it's part of our mission to see how we can also spread the gospel and to see how many lives we can be able to touch. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, the people are always a great inspiration why we should keep going.
Yeah. So being in the work already and seeing what challenges come with it, what advice would you give to someone who wants to create a positive change in their community?
Well, I mean, for me, I think you should do what you have to do regardless because it's not easy and it's never going to get easier. So, I mean, why not? You just have to do what you have to do against all odds because at the end of the day, you are the person who knows what you want to do. You're the person seeing the vision. You are the one who wants to make a change. So you don't wait for people to dictate or determine. Because I mean, especially as an NGO, when you travel to new communities, new environments, you see people coming up with different policies, rules, regulations. But I mean, regardless, you just have to keep pushing. You just have to keep doing what you do best because uh, people would frustrate you, the environment will frustrate you. But yeah, you just have to do you.
So what dreams do you have for the community that you serve?
Well, I mean, as I always say, my dream is to one day own the biggest orphanage in the whole of West Africa. Yeah. So to me, it's not just about my community, it's about how many lives we can touch. So we're looking at going beyond an NGO and actually being the biggest orphanage in whole West Africa. Because yeah, why not? If somebody could do it, then yeah. I mean, because currently the biggest is Dorian Homes in Ondo State, and for me, I see myself doing more because I actually want to help
Yeah.
that much, and I really want to touch lives that much.
Okay, so how do you balance your personal dreams with the needs of your organization?
I'm actually just so passionate about my NGO and also my personal life. So I really don't allow one overshadow one. I always try my best to balance it however it comes and I prioritize both my personal life and also the NGO. So I don't know, but it's just been good because at the end of the day I still just find a way of balancing everything.
Yeah.
All right.
So working with a team, obviously when you're alone, you know your vision, you know what you're going for, but now
Right.
bringing in people who may have different ideas, different visions, how
Right.
do you inspire them to share your vision?
Well, I mean, that's one thing because when it comes to an NGO, you have lots of hands on deck. You have a lot of people you're working with, different caliber of people, personalities, and all. But you just have to find a way to strike the balance, right? It hasn't been easy. It hasn't been easy, especially dealing with human beings, because not everybody on your team shares your vision or your goal. Yes, they're there, they're doing the work, but then at the end of the day, not everybody has that same passion you have for what you love doing. Yeah. So for me, I just try to encourage them. I always try to just preach love because for me, that's the ultimate goal, love. Because once there's love, even amongst yourselves as a team, you'll be willing to learn and you'll be willing to do better. So I always just preach love to my colleagues, my staff. I'm always just all about love. Yeah.
Yeah. So now we're getting into a segment of the podcast called Safe Space.
Okay.
And you all know, in the safe space, you're allowed to be vulnerable without being judged.
Right.
You're allowed to express yourself freely. And of course, during the safe space, I like to give people that audience to be able to express themselves because in our world today,
Right.
it's not easy to just be vulnerable without
Right.
being judged
Just
or
right.
people looking at you a certain way. So, can you tell us a moment where you felt really vulnerable?
There was a point in my life where things weren't seeming or things weren't going the way I wanted or I imagined them to go. But yeah, so at that point, I should I say lost hope because it was a very tough time of my life. Yeah, I think I was still in uni then, and but with the school, family, personal life, it's just a mess. A lot of things weren't going right. So at that point, I went through a lot. I went through a lot. But at the same time, I never for once turned away from God. Yeah, I just kept praying, hoping, believing that yeah, one day things are going to get better. And yeah, I mean, I think that paid off.
What's a fear that you've had to overcome?
The fear of failure. Yeah, because growing up, I was always scared to fail. Uh, People tell because academically, I always felt bad whenever I failed. So I always tried to do better or to come top class,
Yeah.
top of the class. Yeah. So for me, it has always been, I've always been scared to fail. But then I think growing up has just made me realize that, I mean, there's no success without failure. And it's part of life, or it's just part of your success story. So I've learned to embrace failure. And for me now, I learn from my failure rather than let it wear me or something. Yeah. So that used to be my greatest challenge, but I think as of now, it's safe to say that, yeah, I've overcome it. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, what is something that people would be surprised to find out about you? Something we don't know.
That I'm engaged, I guess, because yeah, not not a lot of people know that about me. Yeah, because I keep my personal life or private
Yeah.
life, yeah, just to myself and my family. I really don't speak much about my private life.
Yeah, that's amazing. Congratulations on that, by
Thank
the
you
way.
very much.
So, what are you most grateful for?
First and foremost, I think I would say I'm with my family, and I'm grateful for the new family I'm about to find myself into. So that's my fiance's family. They've been wonderful too. So yeah, I think basically for the loved ones.
Is there anything we should be expecting from you, from Renaissance Home? What are you most excited about for the future?
Oh yeah, sure, definitely. We had a project last year. Yes, that was empowerment, youth empowerment, digital skills and handicraft. Yeah, just a project we wanted to do last year. We started sometime in November. Yeah, but we couldn't achieve it before the end of the year. So yeah, it's something that we are still looking forward to doing this year.
Yes.
As I told you earlier, with the partnerships from USAID and UN Women, I think we'll be able to do something good this year. So yeah, you guys should look out for Renaissance Hall.
Definitely looking forward to that. That's amazing, impacting the society positively.
Right.
And honestly, just remembering the people who are usually forgotten in the society, it just brings about this warmth. Like you're also not forgotten. You matter to us, and yeah, that's amazing. So, what's a piece of advice you'd give to someone who's still scared to step out on their dream?
One thing I would always say, and they say, is time waits for no one. So I mean, you just have to do whatever you have to do whenever you have the opportunity or whenever you have the chance. Life is short, so
Yeah.
why not? If not,
I mean, look at me here today, sitting with you,
Right.
living in the dream, right?
exactly.
What's some words of encouragement you would have for me, your host?
It's a good thing you started. More than delighted. It is a pleasure to actually be on this show. Yeah, and I would just love to encourage you to just keep doing you. I mean, at the end of the day, nobody's going to come and save you. Nobody's going to take you to the next level. You
Yeah.
are going to be the one who's going to see yourself through and then to the end. So yeah, you just keep doing what you're doing, and yeah, I can't wait to see you at the top.
Thank you so much. Definitely heading to the top.
Right.
So, also with your work, that's amazing work you're doing there, and
Thank you.
would like to see more of that. Hopefully, greater impact, more partnerships, and just making more impact on the world. It's
Sure.
amazing what you're doing. So just keep going, and of course, achieving dreams, chasing dreams, and achieving dreams. So,
Right, thank you.
as a tradition on this podcast, we let our guests sign out.
Okay.
So you just have to say something nice about DreamPod, because DreamPod the best pod, of course.
All right.
So say something nice about DreamPod and then sign up.
All right, guys. Please, you guys should like, comment, subscribe to Dream Podcast. Yeah, obviously, you guys don't like subscribing, but yeah, please make sure you do subscribe. Please, let's support our girl.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure having a beautiful conversation. I enjoyed this, and I hope our dreamers enjoy this too. So keep dreaming, guys. See you on the next one.
Peace.